Okay, so in today's session, we will be covering our inventory module. We have already covered our sales purchase module. You can refer that video as well. So in inventory, if we go with, again, we can see that we have three different modules. They are just like others, that is masters, reports, and inventories. Okay, so let us go individual options wise. Now in masters, we have individual voucher types. That is inventory voucher types. Now in inventory voucher types, you will be creating all the different vouchers which are required for the transactions of inventory, like stock general, material wastage, or something like that, which is related to stock transactions. Then we have UOM. UOM means unit of measurement. Here you will be adding all different types of measurement units which are being used in your premises or in your business. That is, some businesses are there which are been dealing with different types in liquid for like for beverages, like they would be using measurements like liters and tons. Some are the businesses which are dealing with the measurement of kgs and grams and more than that. Then so based on that, all the different type of unit of measurements which are used, you have to add it from here. These are the transaction basic things which is required for the transactions of stock. Okay, then we have text setups. We text setup In text setup we have different options, that is like simple text and compound text. You can edit from here. You can have the option for getting a simple text if there it is, and if it is a compound text, you can select from here compound. You can select all the different types of sales and ledger or sales vouchers and the ledgers which will be effective for tax and for sales and purchase, and all the compound taxes which are there, that you can edit for here for sales and purchase. Here we have an option of based on. Here you can select that your this particular text would be applicable on the item price or on the total value. So that option is also there when there is a compound interest, compound text. This is how you'll be creating the different types of taxes. Then after this text, we have stock items. Now stock item is the items where you will be adding all the details of the particular inventory or the stock which you are using. But before that, we would be requiring to create the stock group and stock categories. I can show you. In stock group, you can see I have added two stock groups in which I am you dealing for, like for my business is using, that is car and bike. I've created two stocks like this. Based on that, I have created categories, that is electric and petrol. So that would be, it means that car there are two bifurcations like petrol and electric. Same with bike, we have two bifurcations, that is petrol and electric. Now after that, we would be able to create the item stock. I can show you from here. I'm creating one item, and that would be reflecting over here. In this item stock also, we have given stock items. We have given many utilities. Here you will be able to define the sales and purchase tax. It is there. Whatever is there, you can once it is created, you can select it from here. We have given the option of it. The rates would be inclusive or exclusive. Then what would be the base unit, and we have unit of measurement. Then would costing type. We have given the predefined costing methods. You can select whatever is applicable. Then in advanced configuration, we have many options that, for example, in which shelf you have kept. It is generally for the small goods which are being able to kept in the rack, not for this big, but definitely for the small ones. Then whether it is refundable or not, and everything they can be defined from here. Here you can add the stock reorder level quantity. The stock reorder level quantity is like certain business have the option, the practice, basically you can say practice of keeping the certain every stock on a minimum order basis. They do not want that to go on extinct or negative stock. So what they do, they keep a criteria in their business system, that is like in ERP, where you will be mentioning that if particular this stock goes beyond this 100 quantity, we need to reorder, and that too in a specific bulk. So all that things will be mentioned over here, and once it is going that below thing, system will auto generate the purchase order or bill of material. So that can be done from here. Here we have the unit of conversion, the first unit and the second unit. Now the first unit is like when you are taking the goods inward or doing the bulk selling, you will be doing in tons. But when you are getting it into your things, in it turn there are many different boxes, and on in boxes there are many different packets, right? So that all things can be defined over here. Then we have many other details which can be mentioned. It is applicable to which particular stock, who is the default supplier, and if we are doing the reorder, in what quantity, minimum quantity we will define that it will be 100, 500,000 is there. And whenever we'll be importing, what are the taxes or the custom duties or any other duties which are being added, all the details can be mentioned over here. You can even mention any RFID card is item, unique identification number is there, you can mention, then it can select, then the product label which will be used for this particular item, all that can be defined. And from here we have given one more shortcut which will help to save your time during the doing entries. Like from, if you will go on transaction history over here, you will get the history of all the transactions which are done for this particular item for the sale period. Same goes for the sales history. You will get the sales history of the product, what, where, to whom, and what is the quantity it has been sold. That details you will get. Same for the purchase, if there is any purchase for this particular product, batch history, serial number history, where if you want to go get the details on that basis, or any transaction serial number history for the sale period. So these are the other details. Now if you are adding this particular items, if you want to add to specific price list, you can add that price list from here, right? If it is there, if the price list are being made, then any field values which you want to add, you can add it from here. This is the item costing. If there is any item costing you want to do, you can mention the name of the store, then the date, then what will be the value, and how many, for how many unit. If it has been kept that if the customer is purchasing, of if we are purchasing or selling for this particular unit, so this number of units, this would be the rate, and less than that this, and less more than that this. So that you can define, you can add the image of this particular product, and then the store which what would be the default store. So this is how we create the items. So once the store item group and item category has been made, you will be able to create the item stock items. Then we have item shelf. Item shelf is like defining the arrangement and the setting of your product which is on the warehouse, right? Like for example, you have many different racks, like say for example 10 racks, you are defining R1 2 3 4 2 1 2 10, right? And each rack is having shelf, so you will be creating the name of the rack shelf, that R1 A2, like shelf 2. So that you will be creating, and then whenever the items are there, you can define the shelf over there. This is the reporting structure. Now in reporting structure, we have kept this as a hierarchy basis. Like for the approval, we have kept this authorization for two particular modules, that is internal material requisition and purchase order, because that is the purchase expense of the company. So whenever there is a purchase, there is always a watch. So here we have kept the options of two particular module. Here you will be selecting the for user for whom you are doing this, because I am doing in admin through, so I am not getting that users, but you will be selecting the particular user. Then if you want to add any user, you can also add for that user, and here you will be adding the name to whom that particular user is reporting to. For example, I'm Ruchita, and my name would be selected over here, that it is for me, and for which particular module. So I'll be selecting that two modules. If there are two modules, I'll be doing that over. And here I'll be mentioning the name or selecting the name of the person who would be approving my request. So I will generate an intermaterial requisition order, and that would go to the person who would be mentioned over here for the approval. Once they would approve, they will go ahead. So that is the option there for the two particular modules that we can do. Okay. After that we have barcode print. Once the barcode scanner has been attached, there, then how the barcode grid would go, that would be defined from here. Sorry, this is opening text lab, sorry. Yeah, so these are all the settings for the barcode printing, which is generally done from the technical part. Then we have the barcode print for GRN. If it is anything for GRN, then we have item wise price list for. Then the item wise price list, from here you can get, you have to select the different types of items for which you are looking for. Once you'll you will get the details of the price list where this particular item reflects to, or is been added, and based on that you will get all the details. So this is how you will get that thing. Then we have GRN price, GRN wise price update. Now, when once you have created, as I showed you in purchase, there is a G goods receipt note. So once all the GRNs which are been purchased, if you want to update the price on any particular GRN, you can go it directly for through this particular thing for that item, and you will get the option and you can update the price. Then we have supplement items. Now there are this is an option for these raw material and fully processed goods industry, where they are importing raw materials for the production of a one or fine finished goods. So here we will be entering that definition that we are talking about this particular item, and this is applicable to which particular store. And here all the supplements, say for example creating a powder or chocolate powder, we are adding chocolate, cocoa and sugar. So all that supplements that are raw materials can be added over here. So this is how we get and define the supplement of that particular finished goods. Then we have auto BOM scheduler. Now auto BOM scheduler is the thing which is generated by the system, that is a bill of material. You can schedule that after so much so interval, there should be an scheduler which should run in the system, and you will get the list of the items for which the bill of material is pending. So you can define the schedule from here. It is just like a backup utility, like you can in that utility you can create the backup, and here you can get the BOM schedule and the details about that. Then we have price list wise rate change. So now going to an individual price list, and for the product, now one product can reflect in many different prices. So it is difficult to go on individual basis, right? So what we can do, we can go to here and we can select like this one. You will get the drop down for the list of all the price lists which are being created. You will select the price list from over here particular supplier, however you have created, like based on the supplier, based on the customer or something like that. And you can go to that particular price list, and then you can edit the price of any of the product. So this is the direct utility which you have to do. You can do, I can say. Then we have auto item reorder based level answers, which is again an utility which you have to run for the goods which are on a extent basis and they are beyond their minimum quantity. Then we have item stock item wise branch list. Here you will go and check, and you will get the details if there are any remarks for this particular item. So from this you can do that thing. You can get the details for that, and then we have label template. If you want to create any label template, then you can create it from here. Now comes the transaction. Now in transactions, first of all, we have the opening balance. We would be adding the opening balance for all the stock items. Okay, so you will be able to add the items at one go in one shot for, and it is applicable to which store and it is of which particular store. You can add on a store wise, because every store have different price list opening stock level, right? So you can do it on that particular thing. Once the opening balance is added in your system, what you can do is, then you can, it is ready for you to transact and you get the details for the inventory in stock. Then we have import delivery note data. Now import delivery note would be generated once any of the goods are being added to or bring to your system up to your location. So that against the goods which you have received, or the stock which has been returned or received, based on that you will generate an import delivery note. Then we have delivery notes. Once you have sent it and you have done the delivery, you will generate the delivery note for that. Received notes once the goods are been received. Then we have stock general. Now here we have to create different stock generals of which are used for our transactions. You can do it stock generals. That generals we have already created over here. I can show you. You can create it from here, voucher types. Based on that voucher type, that general that would be reflected over here. Say for example, any manufacturing unit, they have the material usage, material wastage, all that generals would be reflected over here once it is being created. Now then we have warehouse transfer requisition. Now here in warehouse transfer requisition, you can generate the requisition from here. Here you will be selecting that it would be reflected to which particular voucher. We have already created that, the date. And now request generation, it is auto. Once it will be saved, it will give the auto serial number. Now request from which warehouse. Okay. Now you will be selecting the warehouse that you are doing the request from which particular warehouse, and what is the request from your end that you can select it from here. If you have any narration you want to do, you can do it from here. So this is the warehouse transfer requisition. Then we have warehouse transfer. Now what comes in warehouse transfer is, again, here you will be say a voucher has been reflected everything. Now from store, that as I am doing it from Ahmedabad store, so it is default, and the requisition number, if there is warehouse transfer requisition, if any I have received, right, to the warehouse, this, right, from any particular branch, it will, once I'll click over here, I'll get the list of the warehouses from where I have received any request. So against that I will be uh, doing that particular thing. If it is not there, then I will do it manually. That is warehouse, which to which one I have to transfer, and I'll do it. This is the warehouse work order number. If we have to we have done any work order requisition, then you can do it from here. So this is how this is the warehouse transfer works. Then we have physical stock data entry. Now this is physical stock data entries is the option where you will be entering the data or the stock numbers manually. You will select the item and you will add the item as you have counted on your warehouse. Say for example, you have counted that item 1 is for 10 quantity. So you will be mentioning for the details of all the stock over here for which are being counted on manual basis. Then we have physical stock verifications. Now, once we will do this physical stock verification, if there is any difference, say for example, in my system, in my transaction, I'm getting 9 quantity or 11 quantity, but in actual, in my verification, I'm having 10. So system would adjust my system, this particular option will adjust my system stock as per the physical stock entry. So if it is 9, it will add 1 and make it 10. And if it is 11, it will deduct 1 and give it 10. So this is how this verification work. Base would be our physical stock entry. Then we have branch requisition. Okay. So in branch requisition, here you will, as I am from HO, I have in an admin user, I will see all the requests which I have received from the branch. If I'm having multiple branches, I'll open the branch requisition, and then I'll see all the requisition which are received from the branch. Okay. After that, we have the option of internal material requisition. Now, in internal material requisition, what you have option is that there is the from Ahmedabad store. If I have received any of the, I am doing the requisition for this work order related, I will request to the branch to provide that particular thing. So from here you can do the internal material requisition. You can say one internal departmental requisition as well. It can be used on that basis as well. Then we have into material issue. Now, once there are any requisition done, you can do the material issue against the internal requisition request. This is how the material issue has been done, that it is which voucher it will reflect, then from which store. So that is the store is my Ahmedabad, to which particular store I am sending any narration, and I will map the internal material requisition which is generated. Like say for example, requisition number 1, I am doing this transaction or this material issue against this particular requisition. And if there is any work order to be mapped, I will map it over here, and then I will add all those items or do that thing, and based on that you can create that thing. So that is one of the thing which you can do. Same is the material return. Once the materials which are being issued, for example, I have issued 10 to my another city's branch, for example branch B, but they have used only 8 and they are returning me 2. So once you have issued material, done the material issue, then you have to take material return. So this is that for that particular transaction. HO requisition. Now in HO requisition, here from the HO, if I am doing HO is requesting to any of the store, that was branch to branch, in branch internal thing. From HO, if I am able to, I want to request to any of the branch for the material issue or something, that I can do it from here. Then we have auto BOM process. Now auto BOM process is again the BOM. You will get the list of all the BOM which are been scheduled and generated. You have to check and show process. So this is for the person who has that hierarchy, right? So they would be able to view the all the BOM process schedules. Like for in a week, you have to schedule for twice. So for example, 3 BOM has been generated. So you will get the list of that and you will view that and you can select and do the process. And that means you are approving that particular thing. Based on that, we have batch-wise landed cost. Yes, this is also one of the things which is important for manufacturing or any other unit who are importing the material. Now, for example, if they are doing for the process or the transaction for a big bulk, like big batch. So to get that to your particular location, you are incurring many other different charges like labor charges, lorry charges, then freight, any extreme excess duties and everything. So all that particular cost are applicable to that cost batch costing only. So here what you can do is you will select the item, then the which batch you are talking about, and then add that cost. So the all the products, all the serial numbers or all the products which are being there in that particular batch would be affected with this costing. So these are the transactions for the, and this is the day book. Yeah, day book is again you will get the history of all the transactions throughout the said period for a day or for a week, right? So this is your day book. Based on that, we have created the report. Now in transactions, in inventory, there are many more things like different items. Now if you want to go and see how on the stock basis, how many, what are the stocks with us, what type of stock it is, what are the on the exchange basis, what are on refundable basis. So we have bifurcate, tried to bifurcate. So these are the reports which are based on the stock. You can get a majority of the reports which we have. These are the stock reports. Then this is the reports based on the inventory masters. Then transaction basis in reports. These are the serial item number wise. And these are the batch wise reports because inventory is very important for any of the business unit. So this is how our inventory module work. We will cover our next we will cover our next modules in our next video. Thank you.